applewood smoked Canadian bacon from a $1.97 a pound pork loin? You bet. Let me show you how.
Here's half a pork loin, boneless, that I bought in the bag shrink wrap when they were on sale at my local supermarket a couple of months ago. I've had this in the fridge since. As you can see, if we zoom in at the price, it doesn't actually owe me a lot. But it's time to get this into the production chute. So I'm going to turn it into Canadian bacon. So let's go ahead and mix up our curing spices, I suppose, salts actually, and sugars. I'll show you my worksheet that I use to do that. Then we'll get this covered, put into a freezer bag, by which I mean a vac pack bag, and we'll leave it in the fridge for a week to 10 days to properly cure. Then it's into the smoker with it. And as you can see, I've just lightly scored the fat cap to let the curing salts reach through and get into the meat a bit better. We're going to be slicing this on the power slicer when it's done, so they won't hurt anything. Here we go, folks, 40 grams of salt. That one crept up to 41 while we were filming it, but it's close enough for government work. It doesn't have to be fancy salt, but you cannot use salt with iodide in it. This cheapest salt is as good as any. You can use kosher salt or sea salt if you want, but I doubt you'll taste any difference in the cured meat.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have to apologise to you. I don't know what happened, but my camera footage of the making of the curing mixture became corrupt. So here's my Excel spreadsheet that I use for calculating quantities of cure. 2.5% salt, 1% sugar. I just used white sugar here, and 1/4% of curing salt, Prague powder number 1. The curing salt is typically called pink curing salt number 1. Please do not confuse this with the pink salt that you will see on the shelf at Costco. They are not the same, and to interchange them could frankly be dangerous. I use a fine gram scale to measure out my pink curing salt. Here you'll see we're as close as we need to get to 4 grams. And as you can see, we mix them all together and take it from there. Once again, sorry for the filming hiccup.
We've mixed our sugar and salts all together and added a generous tablespoon of freshly ground black pepper, which will add a nice bit of backing flavour into our Canadian style bacon. We're just going to cover and rub our cure to our piece of pork, then it's into the vac pack bag. So here's our soon to be bacon in a vac pack bag. We're going to pop this in the fridge, turn it every 12 to 24 hours for a week to 10 days, then it'll be into the smoker. Okay, so 10 days later, here's our piece of pork loin, soon to be Canadian bacon, after we've taken it out of its vacuum packed curing bag. We're going to put this in a bowl and give it a good wash to get any excess salt and curing solution off. Then we'll pat it dry and put it into the smoker. Well, here he is in his bath. This is after one change of water, by the way, so most of this has already been washed off. We're going to pat him dry with paper towels before we put him into the smoker. Under normal circumstances, I would put this into the fridge just to dry off, a bit like when we dry cure some food before we fry it or bake it. But we're a little short of time today due to household reasons, so I'll just have to dry them as best I can. So here's our Canadian bacon as it came out of the smoker. Not a lot of colour from the smoke, But remember, I didn't dry it off in the fridge before we put it in. Has a very nice, subtle applewood smoke scent to it. I use applewood because I never look for a very strong smoke flavour, such as I'd get if I used mesquite, for example. I'm looking forward to giving this into the slicer. We'll slice this fairly thickly, and then probably you could eat it. Honestly, it's been held at 140 degrees for a while, but the wise person will fry it a little bit before they put it in a sandwich or eat it up. See you when we get to the slicer. Okay, having taken this out of the smoker, cut the rough end off prior to slicing it. The hole, by the way, is where the cooking temperature probe was. We're going to get ready to slice this. I did eat the end cap, and it tastes absolutely delicious. Nice, mild, smoked applewood flavour. It's not overpowering, just out there. Definitely cured bacon. So let's get this piece of homemade Canadian bacon sliced, and we'll show you what it looks like. I'm going to be cutting this on the thick side.
Our Vivor slicer, which we've reviewed elsewhere on the channel, continues to do yeoman's work and made a quick job of slicing this Canadian bacon.
So here's the haul of our Canadian bacon after it's been through the Vivor slicer. We got nice thick slices. It's moist, soft, tasty. Yeah, I ate the end bits. A little bit of fat, but not much. So if we can call bacon healthy, this is bacon healthy. I'm probably going to have about 3 slices of this for my dinner tonight, and I'll let you know what I think. But I'm pretty pleased so far. So here's our Canadian bacon pan fried for just a couple of minutes to brown it up. This is my dinner tonight with some veg. I've tasted a bit. Folks, this worked out really well. Doing your own Canadian bacon, bit of work, but at least you know what's in it, saves you a bit of money, and it's good.